Mark Anderson quickly became a Bachelor Nation fan favorite when fans first met him during Kelsey Anderson's hometown date with Joey Graziadei. It was at that moment that viewers everywhere wanted to see more of him, especially in the form of being the next Golden Bachelor. He had lost his wife Denise 6 years earlier to breast cancer and decided he was ready to dip his toes back into the dating pool. He joined Joan Vasso's season of The Golden Bachelorette. Unfortunately, Joan did not see a lasting future with him, so she sent him home. This was his first experience with reality television, other than during Kelsey's date, so he had some very important questions. However, there was only he really truly wanted answered before heading to Los Angeles to the Bachelor Mansion. What was it? Keep reading to find out more. Mark Anderson really only wanted to know one thing before filming. Golden Bachelorette contestant Mark Anderson recently appeared on Bachelor Happy Hour with Joe Amabile and Serena Pitt. During his interview with them, he dished on what he asked daughter Kelsey Anderson before leaving for Los Angeles to film with Joan Vassos. It seems he didn't really want to know much about what he should expect dating-wise or even camera time-wise. Instead, his most important question had nothing to do with Joan or the other men who would also be competing for time with the leading lady. Mark wanted the chance to experience the show all on his own without knowing what to expect during the process. However, he had one huge concern. Mark shared that he asked a very important question of his daughter. He said, "The most important question that I had asked Kelsey is, do I need to bring towels with me? So, that was like my big question for her." Was there sparks with Joan Vassos? Joe Amabile and Serena Pitt also wanted Mark Anderson to spill the tea on whether or not there were sparks between him and Joan Vassos. He shared that indeed there were sparks flying between him and the Golden Bachelorette. Mark even politely asked permission from Joan before laying a big kiss on her, which she approved of completely. Things seemed to be going great between the two of them. However, in the end, she didn't think he was quite over losing his wife Denise. So she sent him home, and fans are eager to see if ABC will cast him as the second Golden Bachelor. What do you think about Mark's very important question? Do you think he has a shot at being the lead? Stay tuned for more updates. Mark Anderson had charmed Bachelor Nation even before he stepped onto the Golden Bachelorette. His genuine spirit and warm personality left an unforgettable impression. Fans first met him during his daughter Kelsey Anderson's hometown date on The Bachelorette, where she introduced him to her then beau, Joey Graziadei. Though the meeting was brief, it was enough to spark fans' imaginations about Mark as a possible future Golden Bachelor himself. After losing his beloved wife, Denise, to breast cancer 6 years prior, Mark finally felt it was time to explore a new chapter in his life. Kelsey had encouraged him to take the plunge into dating again, and he ended up joining Joan Vasso's season of The Golden Bachelorette. While Joan ultimately decided that their paths weren't aligned for a future together, Mark's short time on the show left Bachelor Nation hoping he'd have another shot at finding love. However, before any of it began, there was one question, seemingly simple yet undeniably revealing, that he needed to ask his daughter before embarking on his reality TV journey. Mark had been out of the dating world for years, still coming to terms with the loss of his wife. But Kelsey saw how much he had poured into his family and career, often at the expense of his own happiness. So when the Golden Bachelorette opportunity came around, Kelsey encouraged her father to apply, convinced he deserved this chance to find love again. The concept of a reality dating show felt foreign to Mark. While he had supported Kelsey through her own adventure on The Bachelorette, he couldn't fathom himself as a contestant navigating emotions in front of millions. His excitement was mingled with hesitation as he prepared to head to Los Angeles and join a cast of men all vying for the heart of Joan Vassos. In the days leading up to his departure, Mark found himself asking Kelsey about what to expect. But amid discussions about group dates and cocktail parties, one question kept nagging him, one that he finally blurted out, "Kelsey, do I need to bring towels with me?" The simplicity of the question surprised even him. Here he was on the brink of a journey that could change his life forever, and his mind fixated on whether he should pack towels. To Kelsey, this was classic dad. She laughed, telling him he was overthinking things and that yes, the Bachelor mansion had plenty of towels. Still, the exchange spoke volumes about Mark's down-to-earth nature, something that would endear him to viewers throughout his time on the show. As he later joked on the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast with Joe Amabel and Serena Pitt, "Of all the things I could ask before going on a reality show, towels were my big concern." But it was precisely this grounded perspective that gave Bachelor Nation hope he could be the next Golden Bachelor, a role that would suit him perfectly. As Mark walked into the Golden Bachelorette mansion, nerves and excitement collided. Joan Vassos was a woman of grace and resilience, qualities that reminded him of his late wife Denise. He knew immediately that there was potential for something special. The two hit it off almost instantly, finding common ground in their shared life experiences and respect for family values. Mark's approach was patient and sincere, and he made sure Joan felt comfortable at every step. One of the more tender moments between them came during a one-on-one date, when Mark gently took Joan's hand and asked if he could kiss her. The gesture was old-fashioned yet heartfelt, and Joan accepted with a smile. Their chemistry was evident, and fans couldn't help but root for them. But despite their shared connection, Joan ultimately decided that Mark might not be ready to fully commit. Though disappointed, Mark understood Joan's perspective. His bond with Denise had shaped his life so profoundly that moving on was an ongoing process, one that wasn't simple or linear. He knew he was on a journey, and perhaps this was merely the beginning of something greater, something that would help him open his heart to a new future. Bachelor Nation wasn't ready to say goodbye to Mark. His presence on the Golden Bachelorette had resonated with viewers, who saw in him a man of honor and compassion. Calls for him to become the next Golden Bachelor began flooding social media. The idea of a season dedicated to helping him find love felt natural and right to those who saw how deeply he valued relationships. After his journey on the Golden Bachelorette, Mark returned to a life that felt both familiar and changed. The experience had given him insight into himself, a realization of his readiness to explore companionship again. And though he hadn't left the mansion with a partner, he left with a new sense of purpose and openness to life's possibilities. In an interview with Bachelor Happy Hour, Mark revealed more about what he had learned. "You go into this thinking you're going to meet someone and fall in love, but you end up learning so much about yourself," he said. "I never thought about the dating world in this way before, and it was eye-opening." Serena Pitt chimed in, noting that Mark's journey had captivated fans precisely because of his humility and openness. She told him, "I think people love you because you're real. You went on that show with no agenda, just a hope for something new. And that's so rare." The conversation didn't end with Mark's departure from the Golden Bachelorette. Instead, it sparked a movement. Fans wanted to see him as the next Golden Bachelor, a man they could believe in, who represented the best parts of their own lives and experiences. Social media buzzed with posts like, "If anyone deserves another chance at love, it's Mark Anderson," and "Can we please get a season of Mark finding happiness?" Mark, for his part, took these hopes with gratitude and a humble smile. He remained open to the idea, acknowledging that his journey wasn't over. Perhaps this chapter with Joan had prepared him for a future he hadn't even dared to imagine, a future where he could finally meet someone who could become his partner in life. If there's one thing Mark Anderson's story has shown, it's that love often begins in the simplest moments, like a father asking his daughter about towels. His journey wasn't about grand gestures or bold declarations, but rather about small acts of kindness and genuine connection. It reminded fans that real love often grows from unexpected places, from ordinary lives and quiet acts of courage.